Okay, so this is my second video on the Pendleton e-bike. I've had it a month now. I've had it on loan from a friend so my wife could try it, and it's been great, but I'll go through it at the end of this video. I'll just show you some videos that I made whilst I had this bike. So I'm on max power. Have a look behind me, see how fast I'm going. It is super fast. It really copes well with this because obviously it knows it can go up to 15 miles an hour, and so in some ways it feels faster because if you're going across grass, this is reasonably thick grass and it would be a lot harder to go across, but as you can see I'm speeding along, no worries. Right, let's try a big steep hill. Okay, so I don't know if the camera picks up that it's raining at the moment. No, probably not. So I'm going to go up this reasonably steep hill, quite narrow, and just see how well it copes with it. So absolutely no worries with it. It's cruising up. Let's try and change up the gears and see how fast we can go up the hill. Okay, so it's cut out now because I'm pedalling faster than the 15, so let's back off a bit and let the bike do the work rather than this old man. Easy life. Okay, so it's had its tune up from Halfords, took it in today, and it's much better. The brakes are fine, they were a bit spongy before, and the gears I've had no trouble with on my journey, so yeah, everything's nice, and it seems less rattly. I mean, obviously I'm on a different path to the Tarka cycle path. These are much nicer surface, if you can see it behind me. There you go. But yeah, all working good. I'm probably going to ride this a lot while I'm borrowing it. Okay, so this is me pedaling at low power, or I'm on low power, and you can see that it's was it about 4 or 5 miles an hour? Have a look. So if I now press the medium button, and it will start to pick up. I'm using no assistance from my legs here. I mean, they're going round because obviously that's what makes the electric cut in. But yeah, I'm using no extra power. So I'll show you the side-on view now. Okay, and so now switch to high power. My legs are going the same speed, but it's really picking up now. And there's a fire over there, so I'll show you that. There you go, so that's high speed, so that's about 15 to 16 miles an hour. Okay, so I did a speed test. This is on low power, with me not applying any pressure, just turning my legs around but not applying any pressure. And it goes around about 5 or 6 miles an hour. When I changed to medium power, it maintained a speed of around about 10 miles an hour, and then on high power it was about 15 to 16 miles an hour. So this is the speeds that the bike will do on the various different settings. And overall I agree with the speed limit that's been set for the EU. 15.5 miles an hour is absolutely fine, especially for someone who's not used to cycling. It's a decent speed. If you're used to cycling, you cycle at faster speeds anyway, and if you choose to go faster, just pedal harder. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I must be going about 15 to 16 miles an hour, and I'm in top gear, but I'm not really putting any pressure on. But see if you can hear the engine motor cut out when I pedal harder. And then if I slow down a bit, so what will happen is it will realise that it's not going for, there you go, so it cuts back in now. So if I give it some beans with my legs, you can hear that it goes silent. And then if I slow down a bit, but keep my legs rotating, but not to give it any pressure. You can hear it cut in. I hope you can hear it cut in. There's got a bit of wind noise. So you can see in the background my wife is testing out the electric bike. Just to see how it is, I'll let you know how it goes. Okay, so this is a steeper part at the end of the journey, and as you can see, it's handling it with ease. I'm on my fake electric bike because hub gears make it look like you've got an electric bike, but I haven't. So I got pedal hard, but easily up the hill. Okay, so after having this bike for a month, would I recommend it? Absolutely, yes, I would. My wife really does want one of these. What I've done though, I've ordered a Swytch kit, which is a bike conversion kit, which is very different. It's front wheel drive, the battery is on the handlebars, but it can be swapped out between many different bikes. And I want her to try that first on a few different bikes and see what she thinks. But I actually think at the end of the day, she'll probably end up just buying one of these because she was really sold on it. It's very comfortable. It looks good, and at the price, I think, well, I can't really see anything else better on the market. I am going to have a look around because really the Swytch kit is going to be for me, and I'm going to see all the local bike shops and see what they've got to offer along these lines, and if I find something comparable, then I'll get my wife to test that. One thing I wanted to mention from my previous video, I said that when I overtake people I was turning off the motor. You don't need to do that because as soon as you get past 15.5 miles an hour the power cuts out anyway, so you can pedal past people and then when you ease back into it the motor will cut back in. So yeah, there's no need to be switching it on and off unnecessarily. The only thing I didn't like was the handlebar grips. They look fine, they're very in keeping with the bike and they match the seat and everything, but I just find them a bit slippery. I prefer a much more grippy sort of rubberized handlebar grip. It's only a minor point, my wife didn't pick up on it, but I ride bikes a lot and I just felt that they weren't grippy enough for me. Okay, so a few tips on lithium batteries, which applies to most electric bikes. There are some that use inferior battery technologies, but lithium at the moment is the best. You want to charge your lithium battery at least once a year. I would say more often, but at least once a year is the advice. Most smart chargers won't charge if the battery gets below a certain level, so it will actually show as a fault because it detects that the battery's not even there, and so it cuts out. As a safety measure, and you don't want to be dropping a lithium battery. It's very bad for that battery. Halfords currently sell extra batteries. The cost of these batteries is about £250, which sounds steep, but the battery is one of the most expensive parts, or the most expensive part on an electric bike. It's just how they are. Battery technology is expensive. If you're worried about the ongoing cost of an electric bike, I did some research and it looked like the general consensus was, on average, it's about 0.4p a mile. Just thought I'd show some close-ups of the electrics and the cabling and things like that. It's a really well worked out bike. I mean, it's so hard to fault anything on it at all. It's you know, down to the chain guard, the cabling, the way the cabling routes through, the way the battery ejects, all of it is actually really cleverly done. Looking at this, I can see that it needs a clean. I'm going to give it a clean today because it will be going back to its owner this week. This is the little pedal sensor that you can see in there. Everything is all kind of nice and tightly packed away, and it really keeps all the clean lines of a bike, and it really doesn't look, I mean, apart from the big battery, that much like an electric bike. And you can use it ordinarily. You can actually even take off the back rack, take off the battery, take off all the electrics, and convert this back to an ordinary bike if you so wish. I don't think I would because I really like the electric bike side of it, but the option's there. I went all around the bike with a magnet just to see what parts were aluminium and what was steel. So steel, the front forks are steel, the mudguards, the chain wheel, and the chain guard are steel, but all the rest seems to be aluminium. So the crank arms, the frame, the battery holder and rack, the hubs, the handlebars, the stem, the brakes and the levers, and even the kickstand are all aluminium. So I think you can tell I'm impressed with it. I really like it for the price. I think it's going to be hard to beat. I am going to have a look around the local bike shops. If I find out any more information, I'll put it in the comments. But also, please like and subscribe to my channel, and you'll be able to see when I get the Swytch kit, which is due in October. I'll be fitting that to bikes, and I'll be giving that impression now, knowing what an e-bike is like and what I say is a good e-bike is like. And then I can do a fair comparison with the two. But I'll just leave you with some music and also just some general shots of the bike, just so you can see some close-ups. I know if I was buying a bike, I'd want to see all the close-ups, so I'll let you have all of those. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Please like and subscribe.